We're back, Naja, for one more episode of Pants on Fire with George Santos.
Can you believe we made it back, though? We're here.
Naja,
What?
What'd you think? We were just going to do one and done?
I don't know, George. I don't know about you because you got a track record.
Girl. Just because you're wearing cheetah don't get you. You don't
Today
need to be,
I'm catty.
You don't need to be too catty,
No,
okay?
today I'm catty.
All right.
I'm in the mood today.
So we are back for one more episode of Pants on Fire.
Liar, liar, pants on fire. Liar, liar, pants on fire.
Today's guest is interesting.
Okay.
So did you ever go to a chiropractor?
I actually have not. So
Okay.
when I heard we were interviewing the guest today, I have a million questions and I want them to talk to me as if I was a kindergartner.
Oh, well, we could. How about this?
Okay.
Do we ask him to do the whole thing shirtless?
Is he hot? Now, if it's the person I saw the TikTok link, it's him? He's here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should have Dr. Johnny come in here shirtless and start resetting our backs.
No, seriously, I have friends that are super single. So is he? We'll find out.
We'll find out. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I don't know if that would violate some sort of law, but if he could come out shirtless, that would really help for what we're trying to do today. Yeah, no, that would really help. Like, do you practice what you preach?
Well, how about this? He's not just a chiropractor, right? So he's a reality TV star in his own right. He's done reality TV, Temptation
just
Island.
like you.
Ish. But no, so Dr. Johnny did Temptation Island,
Okay.
right? And his big thing on the show, and I don't want to unpack it too much, but he literally destroyed a 4-year relationship. Like, how can you sleep at night with that? But then again, I mean, it was the dynamic of the show, but I really want to get into it because a lot of us see this like reality TV. How much reality is really in reality
really
TV?
know that.
That's why I thought it was interesting to have Dr. Johnny to talk about reality
He can really
TV.
dish what's behind the scenes. He can dish. I was on the Tyra show once.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, it was like the
There's
same.
no reality about that
There
witch.
was nothing real.
You know what was the funniest thing for me to watch?
What?
Was when she showed up at that Victoria's Secret fashion show, the reboot. She
The
looks
one
old,
that-
fat, and ugly.
What?
Yep. And she deserves every bit of it.
Old, fat, and ugly.
Yeah. Sorry.
What about
Not
if you're
sorry.
That was really mean.
It is. She was very mean,
really
too.
mean thing to say.
But did you ever watch?
She was doing television,
Yeah.
George.
America's Next Top Model ruined the lives of an entire generation.
I would think that you, a person that's faced so much online scrutiny about the way they look, about the things they say,
I didn't
would
tell
be
people
nicer.
But I didn't tell people they looked fat when they were like barely 120 pounds.
You said a lot.
I did, but I didn't put people
Old,
into
fat,
body.
and ugly. She can't age. She was on America's Top Model.
She can. She
20
should
years ago, so she's going to be older. And I have a thing. Like, Tyra's a little older than me, but we're both in our 40s.
A lot older than you.
I don't know how old she is.
She's in her 50s.
No, she's not.
Yeah, I think she's 51, 52.
No, she's not.
I think so, yeah.
So every 10 years, fun fact, a woman...
Barone, how old is Tyra Banks?
Banks is.
And fun fact, while he's looking for the stats, after 30, every 10 years, a woman is slated to gain 10 pounds.
I don't care.
So if you're 155
don't go on the
pounds when
runway
you're
if
30,
you're a walrus.
Damn.
Tyra is
Damn.
50 years old.
Oh, she's 50.
Okay, so,
She's 50.
She's 50.
old for the runway. She's no Heidi Klum. That's the fact. And Heidi Klum's like, what, 51?
I don't know, but
Yeah.
she's very
Look at
svelte.
Naomi Campbell.
Different breed. Different
Fabulous.
planet.
Anyway,
Naomi's not in the same
You know what?
sentences.
Let's not talk about women because we're bringing a big, strong man on set today. So
Well, you've done enough. They're going to eat you up online, and I hope they do.
I'm
hope
waiting.
y'all eat his
You know
ass
what?
alive.
You know what? I don't care. I really don't care. Tyra Banks was not a nice person for the entire run of Top Model, so I don't care.
She was produced. The show was directed. They told her
You
what
remember
to say.
Tiffany?
And we were watching it. I was on the Tyra show. I know. It was scripted. You want to see a clip?
Now, were you scripted on Tyra?
Yeah. Well, my sister
You know what?
and I
So
went
this
on
is
this
great.
talk show, not the Top Model,
Yeah,
obviously.
This
but
is great. Well, you should have been on Top Model, but this is
you know
great.
how to butter my biscuits. George? Damn.
But this is great because we're going to be talking reality TV with
Yes.
Dr. Johnny Alexander. Dr. Johnny, welcome to Pants on Fire.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, no, absolutely. So this is Naja Hall.
Naja, how are you doing?
Hi.
Naja is my co-host. but I can't live without her anymore.
I'm the cat today.
Yeah, meow, whatever.
You guys playing the outfit coordination?
She copied me.
I did.
No, she copied me.
I saw what he had on, and I was like,
She showed up. It's like, I need to look as close as possible to George Santos.
Exactly, twins. Can
I
you
didn't
tell
get
us
the tan
apart?
memo, but I'm here.
I feel like the Penguin from Batman right now. I'm living in my Danny DeVito. My Danny DeVito vibe.
So you mentioned something though. Is it Johnny or Dr. Johnny? Because I like to address people as
Everybody calls me Dr. Johnny. My last name is Alexander. I don't think anybody knows that because I've just been Dr. Johnny since I can remember.
I had to Google what your last name was.
Yeah. My dad's John, so I've just been Johnny since I can remember.
Got it.
So yeah, it's
So doctor, okay, you're a chiropractor,
Sorry.
right?
Yeah.
How much do you resent all those chiropractors are not doctors? Like,
you got to have tough skin to be a chiropractor for sure. I was a chiropractor before it was like viral cool to be a chiropractor.
Yeah.
So I'd like to hopefully think I'm like on the forefront of that.
Yeah.
But it's kind of crazy because I don't think a lot of people knew what chiropractors did before this internet wave of stuff and the videos. So yeah, it's been a cool field to be in.
I mean, I've been on your table before. You're a great chiropractor. I mean, and I say that to everybody that calls and says, "Oh, my back hurts," I might call Dr. Johnny. Right? I just start getting referral.
Because
appreciate
the crux of what I know that you do, chiropractor.
Yeah.
You crack backs, you crack necks.
Yep.
What else? And I want you to talk to me as if I am a kindergartner.
Yeah.
Like I've never heard of this before. What exactly the hell do you do?
So I work with a lot of athletes. So I work with a lot of like muscle injuries. So yesterday was New York City Marathon. I had probably 20 patients running the marathon. So they'll come in to me for runner's knee, Achilles tendonitis, hip pain. I do a lot of stuff that most chiropractors don't do. Most chiropractors work on the bones, the nerves. So that those adjustments, like those pops and those cracks that you hear, that's gas being released. But also if there's like a nerve impingement, it's taking pressure off the nerve. So people that have herniated discs, sciatica, migraines, tension headaches, numbness, tingling, like those things are big reasons to seek out a chiropractor. But I'm in the sports world where it's a lot of people who are doing like the people doing the Soul Cycle class 7 days a week or the Rumble boxing or the Army boot camp, like those people that want to stay active without having to take a damn day off, like that's who's going to come see me.
So I should never go back to your office.
So what were you there for?
My lower back. I have horrible lower back issues.
You were in bad shape when I saw you.
Yeah.
It was a while ago though, right?
My issue is simply weight. I gain weight, my back goes. I lose weight, I don't see him for a long time.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's like pressure. I have 2 herniated discs on my lower back, and
Because of weight?
yeah, believe it. Well, yes, weight can
Stress,
actually just
like-
weight will injure you. And I've gotten really heavy at one point. I was like 360 pounds.
Were you?
Yeah, at one point.
Were
at
you
my
able
heaviest.
to lift him?
Yeah, I mean,
strong.
I work with big people.
Okay,
have
I
to,
mean,
but yeah,
360 pounds?
Look at this dude. This dude's built like a horse.
I have to stay in shape to be able to do what I do.
Did you know that he was requesting that Dr. Johnny come do the interview shirtless?
I heard a rumor that you were just going to talk to
You know that.
we might get to that. I mean, the hour is opportune and appropriate.
I was like, are we doing radio or TV? Like, who's going to see
We're
these?
doing rated R.
George, personal collection here. What kind of show are we doing here?
Don't lean into my vices. No, but all joking aside. So
Yeah.
let me ask you a question,
Yeah.
Johnny. Part of being a chiropractor is being mounted on people. Like, I mean,
Is that how you? Yeah.
I mean, you mount people in some cases.
have to, yeah.
I mean, I have been in that receiver. I'm like, okay, this dude's completely on top of me. This is so awkward.
Yeah.
You weren't the first chiropractor I've ever gone to, though, right? My first experience
What
with
was
a
the first time you were
chiropractor-
mounted?
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Really?
Oh, sorry.
That's why George really came in.
That's not true. But anyway, so you've been on top of a lot of people when you're setting. Like,
I was
have
talking
you
about in the office or?
in the office,
Yeah.
right? Have you ever had that moment where like this really hot client came in and you're just like, oh, this is going to be a tough one?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty good at turning it on, turning it off, like, because I'm worried about getting them better.
Of course.
But there's definitely some awkward moments where I'm like, maybe you could have worn a little more than that, or maybe, I don't know, like.
So what not to wear to an appointment? How about that? Just tell
Don't
us.
show up in mini shorts.
Well, we work on
What if it's
people, like I'm climbing on somebody, I'm moving them around, stretching them, massaging them.
So wear
whatever.
underwear.
So gym clothes are the best bet. But, if you have a girl show up in a skirt, it's like, okay, we have to have that conversation where I'm going to ask you to change into some shorts that I have in the office or something like that.
You keep
because
shorts in the office?
He hasn't changed
I gotta
clothes
get, I gotta
okay.
get to that area. It's like I might have lift your head over your like.
Your leg over your head, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
mean it's awkward, right?
What do you do if a client smells though?
I used to work with professional and college football players, and in the locker room, they're the smelliest people
You're immune.
walking around. Yeah, and they're college kids, so they have terrible hygiene to begin with, and then they're coming out of the practice and they're walking on, I mean, in a jockstrap, covered in sweat, just laying on my table with their beats on, and I'm like, "What am I working on, sir?" Right? And then they'd be like, "Oh, sorry, it's my hamstring." I'm like, "All right, like we have to have a conversation. I'm not the masseuse, where I'm just gonna like start rubbing your sweaty thighs."
You smell.
Yeah,
I'm like, you smell like a goat, please.
Yeah. I haven't had any. I mean, I think just in general, when people in New York City and especially Manhattan, they do take care of themselves a little bit. They're a little bit more
Have
proud.
you ridden on a train?
Well,
I don't think the train people are the people.
We for the most part have pretty good clientele.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. And it's awkward, right?
Yeah.
But have you ever had to like take a step back and be like, all right, I need to take a walk because this has gotten, the tension in the room was too high. And look, not trying to put you in jeopardy here. I know you're a professional.
Yeah.
Right. But have you ever been in a situation where like the super hot chick walks in, the TikTok devil pants? That's what I call them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the one that literally just like, it's essentially where nothing and where that is probably the same.
Okay.
Has it ever happened that tension's gotten too high that you're like, okay, I need to go get a glass of water?
No, I'm usually just in it. But
in it, really? You think that's the best defense?
I'm pretty good at like separating, mentally, like what I would.
He's a professional.
But there was like one time where somebody that I had a little bit of a history with, we hadn't seen each other in years. I didn't think there was anything awkward about it because she was seeing somebody, I mean, again, right? Like years apart from us having like a romantic thing. And it was nothing serious. It's not like we dated for a while. We just, did our thing. And she wanted to come in and I was like, that seems harmless. Like it's been so many years and I don't even know, And she came in and looked really good and it was immediately kind of flirty. And I was like, oh man, this was a mistake. And I had to kind of power through that appointment. And then I was like, how am I going to go about treating her the right way professionally? When it kind of felt like she just came there to kind of rekindle things.
She wasn't there for her resetting.
She wanted to reset.
It felt like a little bit of a setup.
She wanted her back broken.
Yeah, it felt like a little bit of a setup. But I'd say that was the only time I really had to be like, okay, like, should I see this person again? Is this okay to
Did you continue seeing that person?
No, I did my thing. And then she reached out to me right after the appointment and was like, we should get drinks, blah, blah. And that's kind of when I was like, I just told her I was seeing somebody, which wasn't true, but I was like, no.
I want to talk about dating because, I'm so interested in everybody's love life. But before that, what would make you turn a patient away?
I've had some people show up super high. And everyone's allowed to do what they want to do in their own time.
High as in high
as a kite. Like they smoked the joint, walked into my office, smelled like a Rasta. Like you know what I mean? And I'm not even against that. Like if that's what you do on your time, it's not my thing, but go for it.
And you can set your own policies.
But I don't want somebody bugging out or falling asleep on my table. I had somebody who took too many painkillers before they came in because they had a really bad hernia disc. And I knew that they were in pain, but the first 5 minutes of the appointment, they started falling asleep and they were like, I was talking to them, but they were face down, so I couldn't see their face. And all of a sudden they're snoring and I'm looking and I see the drool sliding down.
You gotta go.
I was like, I don't know what the fuck they took before they came here, but like they're out cold.
Yeah.
And so that's more for me a problem because like I don't want somebody ODing on my table, number one. Number two, if I'm working with somebody and I know that they're under the influence of something, like that's a malpractice suit, right? God forbid something happens, they're gonna say, oh, he should have put his hands on me. So I would say I've turned away some people for those kinds of reasons.
What's the reaction when you say, hey, not touching you today?
They were asleep for like 5 minutes. I kind of woke them up and I let them take a little nap and I woke them up and I was just like, hey, like, let's try this again tomorrow. And they were pretty cool about it, but they were in a lot of pain. I was like, maybe you should have waited a day before you came in here. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
We've had some people that, not often, I had a guy who was super disrespectful to my front desk over the phone.
Okay, I want to talk about him. Like, what did he do?
And I didn't know about it until after that phone call. And I came out of the room and one of my girls was crying and she was like in the back, like getting herself together. And I just thought it was a personal thing. So
wait, hold on. You had a patient make your receptionist cry
over the phone before they came in. And cause they were something about the insurance, they were pissed off and they were saying, well, you didn't tell me it was gonna be XYZ. And I didn't know that that's what happened. Right. I couldn't walking out and I just thought she was dealing with some personal stuff. So I was like, I'll give her a minute. And then the other girl told me like, oh, this is what happened. So I said, well, they're not coming here. And then they showed up because they had an appointment. And I said, just get rid of them. Like, I'm not working with this person. And I had to have that conversation where I was like, if you're going to be rude to my staff, right? The people who are in the trenches with me every day, I'm not fucking seeing you.
Oh, that's amazing.
Puts me in a bad spot.
So you're a good boss.
Yeah. Well, what got awkward was because the guy had taken a cab downtown and was pissed off. And, you know, he was a little bit late. So I just used that. I was like, listen, man, we don't have enough time. And you're fucking rude to my staff. Like, you know, and he went back to the person who referred him. And they called me and I was like, I told them the story. And then they were like, all right, well, you know, we understand that.
You have the right to refuse business.
What do we do is a very personal thing, right? Like I'm getting to know you really well. We're going to spend a lot of time together, one-on-one. Like I have to care about you.
It's an intimate relationship.
I can't fake it, right? If I think you're a scumbag, I really don't want to have to work with you every day.
Yeah.
So I would rather just turn that stuff away versus like putting my name on a bad appointment. You know, it's my rep. That's everything.
That's a good privilege to be able to turn work away because you're in a place now to where you're like, I don't have to take this money.
So you were on the famous reality TV show Temptation Island.
Yeah,
you did some shitty things on there.
Yeah, it was.
Was that produced? Was that you? So here's a big question.
Because you seem like a nice guy.
None of it was
nice-ish.
None of it was fake. None of it was fake. And they definitely try to coach you to doing things. They have a storyline that they have to have unfold. And there's only a certain amount of time to do it, right? So I was brought in under the premise of this is going to be a show where there's going to be single people and people in relationships. And you're all going to hang out and party and hook up and whatever happens, happens. So I was thinking of it as like a real world situation. Like I was like, this sounds like an awesome experience, right? In Maui. So we're getting ready to leave. And like the week before the show is going to start filming, they're flying me out. I got a call with one of the producers and I was like, so can you tell me like some more about, because you don't get to know anything about anybody else, obviously, till you meet them, right? It's all part of the thing.
Yeah.
But they were like, hey, it's going to be 4 couples that have been in long-term relationships. We're going to split them up. The 4 girls are going to go live in one house. The 4 boys are going to go live in another house. And then 12 single guys, me being one of them, are going to go live with these 4 girls. And then 12 super attractive women are going to go live with the 4
you
boyfriends.
were all, the entire cast was attractive. I mean, I went through the roster. You were all in good shape.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
shirtless, like
so these girls
taking
in
your shirt off and
relationships-
spraying yourself with water.
So wait, the girls that were in the relationship, because I hadn't seen the show, they were in the relationships. You, the single guys, were in the house with these women in relationships. Oh,
and there's cameras everywhere. I remember one morning.
What did you do, Johnny? What didn't you do?
Well, listen, picture you go to a party every single day for 3 weeks straight.
Alcohol, cameras.
And this is how I say it. Everyone was like, that must have been awesome. I'm like, listen, I was one of 12 guys. These guys are studs. Super good looking dudes, outgoing, charismatic, very dateable bachelor people. So picture you go to a party every day with the same 12 guys. You're a single guy. And then 4 girls show up and those 4 girls have boyfriends. Is that the kind of party you want to be at as a single guy? It's like you're fighting for 4 girls with 12 studs.
It's like blue balls galore.
The numbers are already against you. The odds are against you. And on top of that, each girl has their own baggage and drama. Like there was one girl who was having a panic attack every day, locking herself in the room. Producers were telling her, you signed up for this. You need to come out and film. We need to get... You can't lay in bed all day. Like we have to film today. So they were like going through like mental breakdowns, right? And then I'm supposed to come over and start hitting on them and be like, so tell me about your day, right? Like it was a hard place to be in because you start finding yourself as like their therapist and then also like their friend, but then you want to hook up with them because time is short. The one producer, and I can talk about it now because my NDA stuff's over, but he threatened me and said, if you don't make a move on this girl, I'm sending you home tomorrow. Like you're going to fly home tomorrow. Because
what's the prize on the show?
There's no prize. The prize is basically these girls and these guys.
But you get paid.
But you're like, it's like, no, let's get $1,000 a week, maybe.
Okay.
After taxes and stuff. It's more about the experience.
Okay.
You're living in a house in Hawaii, but no TVs, no cell phones. They take your phone from you the second you land. So it was like the Truman Show. I felt like a prisoner half the time because you would go in this house, cameras everywhere, and you don't even know really what time it is. They're just like, hey, get ready for a beach date and hang out here.
That's
and then you don't know if
fun.
you're there for 10 minutes, 2-3 hours. Sometimes we'd be like, can we get some food? They'd bring us like some snacks. We'd be like, no, we need some food. I used to get in trouble for working out because there was like a jump rope and some dumbbells. And I was like, if we had 3 hours to sit here, I'm going to go work out. So I would leave, get undressed, go put on my gym clothes. And then they'd be like, okay, we got to film. Where's Johnny? And they'd come find me out back. And they would start screaming at me. They'd be like, you need to fucking be ready in 5 minutes. What the fuck? We told you. And I was like, I was sitting there for 2 hours. You didn't give me a heads up. I didn't know what was going on.
So we're talking people that are mean. How do you work under those conditions? Like, that's not okay.
Dude, that sounds horrible.
Abusive.
The PAs were really good. It was a good cop, bad cop, right? The producers were like, you'd only kind of see them here and there. The PAs were the ones that were like your friend that would like, oh, you want some water? You want a shot? Here, loosen up. They were there to get you through it. But yeah, I mean, by the second week, I was kind of like over it. I was there for about a month. And it got to the point where I was like, I really want to just go back to like my life, right? Like I want to check Instagram. I want to go check my fantasy football team.
You want to be free.
Follow my friends. Yeah. So they do eventually start voting people off. The guys and the girls who are not connecting, they start narrowing down the, and I was the last person to go home because one of the 4 girls took a liking to me, and she started picking me over and
Now,
over
George
again for the
said that
dates.
you broke up a 4-year relationship. Is that the girl?
Yeah, I don't. That's a bad way to put it.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, I mean, she knew what she signed up for, right? She was there to connect with somebody else.
Did you ever connect with her after the show, though?
Yeah, she came to New York. We did a weekend here, and then she was from Dallas, and I was supposed to go visit her, and I was like, you know what, like, now
the
that
show is over.
Show's over. It was like,
but she came here. Don't you feel like terrible that you never went?
I don't think that it was me that broke that relationship, but I think she was going to do it no matter what. I was just kind of the instrument. Like, I feel like she kind of used me to get that relationship. Like, if it wasn't going to be me, it was going to be somebody else.
All right. So did anyone actually have sex on the show?
I did. Sorry, should I say that? Yeah. I mean,
So did you
how does that work with cameras and stuff?
Right.
so weird, dude. So weird. You think you're being filmed, but it's NBC.
No, we've seen some pretty straight up porn on Big Brothers. So all around the world.
I just assumed that, whatever they got of me, they were gonna have to keep PG rated, so it would be okay. But there was the one thing. You want to talk about weird production stuff? You're in a room, it's a bedroom, it's black, you're going to sleep for the night, you're doing your thing, you're hooking up, all of a sudden you're laying on your back, and they have these lights on the ceiling that they start brightening. So you're
being produced
on me and looking up, and all of a sudden I just see the room getting brighter.
That's kind of sexy, though.
I was like, this is like, you forgot for a minute where you were. And I was kind of in the moment, and all of a sudden I was like, oh shit. Like, I can see everything in this room now. This is like.
So here's the bigger question.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of sexy.
Did you stop?
No, he didn't stop.
No,
he didn't.
You didn't stop. So you.
No, I started flexing. No,
So here's the deal. So
some
there's
guys got in some trouble because they, were in these situationships, and then they were like, KSC, I got to turn my phone off for a couple of weeks, and, didn't tell whoever they were, seeing. But
some of these guys showed up as single eligible bachelors, but they were in situationships.
Yeah.
I don't remember what kind of edit you got, but did you get like a fucked up edit?
They tried really hard to make me
the villain, right?
The villain.
Yeah. You got a villain edit.
They did clip some stuff together that I didn't say. They took like my voice, right? Yeah. And they clipped together some of the things I said to make it seem like I said something else.
Yeah.
But I get it. It's production. You're signing up for that, right? There was one guy that had strep throat, and he drank out of my Solo cup, and I was like, that's disgusting. So I went off on him. I was like, don't touch my drink. Like, you were sick, like all day yesterday, like don't come near me. And they caught me doing that, and they made it seem like I was jealous over him getting picked on the date. And I was like in his face because of that. And I was like, he literally had strep throat, grabbed my drink, and somebody else told me about it. Otherwise, I'd have strep throat right now.
You know what? I don't believe production doesn't do that. Baron, does production teams do that?
I've been doing it a long time. And all I can say,
absolutely
no comment.
Okay, so production teams are shady. Great. All right.
But you sign up for it. I mean, don't feel bad.
But you got a villain arc out of it. Did that impact your dating life in New York City?
It was weird because I got these DMs from, and it was this, I guess my demographic is like the middle-aged white woman from the middle of nowhere. Yeah. Right. So like I was getting these DMs from women in like Arkansas, like, you're so hot and I'm rooting for you. And we don't think, and because each episode comes out every week. So it's like playing out on TV. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I got a lot of I got some attention out of it. It wasn't really the attention that per se I wanted or what you would think. It wasn't as good as it sounds, but it was fun. I don't think I did anything that I regret. I mean, it was for the most part a good
you had
experience.
sex on camera. You don't regret that?
Yeah. I mean, look, I knew my grandma was going to watch it. I had to get over that. I was like, you know what? We'll hopefully.
What did grandma say?
What did grandma say about sex on camera?
I hope she fell asleep for that part.
I mean, that's kind of one of the things that you can't even do a watch party for that episode.
You don't know what you're going to see on TV until it happens live. They don't give you like a pre-screening.
But you kind of know how far along you were when you did that.
24/7 footage.
Stuff together. So.
They have 24/7 footage of 15, 20 people.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to create a story. I would do it again. I've never been on a dating app.
What?
I swear to God. I think that.
How old are you, Johnny?
37.
And you're not on dating apps?
No, because
you're like the
married,
demographic of dating apps.
I'm just like a socially. I like to be. I'm a kinesthetic. I like to do stuff. I meet people
like old
and be
school.
out and stuff. I just would rather bump into somebody, and I feel like I'm outgoing enough where I don't really fear rejection.
Wait, hold on. Time out.
Yeah.
I mean, hold on. You're telling me that you still do old school dating. You go to the bars and you go to clubs and you still do like old school
How
pickup?
are you meeting potential partners?
Yeah, usually that way, or friends of friends where
It's messy though, friends of friends, no?
It's a better if it's a softball, right? Where they're like, okay, I know that I could at least get some intel on them beforehand.
Oh,
I'm getting a sense that Dr. Johnny's kind of a player. I'm getting a sense of it because he's not thirsty.
That hurts.
Are you a player?
No, because you're not
I'm just
thirsty
really
to
picky.
meet.
I'm really picky.
So, but would you say you're a player in any situation?
No,
have you ever
that I'm willing to just stay single without having to settle for somebody.
Okay.
So
okay, I
love
like.
that.
I can dig it. I like it.
You're willing to stay single, meaning I rather
Have options.
Yeah, I'd rather go
Instead
down
of
the
calling
buffet
it
line.
dating.
I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, I'm 37, I should be in a relationship right now. Because a lot of my friends who are in miserable relationships are miserable and they're
Yeah.
cheating. And
I
they're
agree,
doing
yeah.
the same shit I'm doing, which
Yeah.
is
How many people think they are dating you right now?
0. And if they do, you're not.
At least
Hold on. So, anybody listening to this,
They
if you
can
think
say-
you're dating Dr. Johnny, you are currently not.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would think that, hopefully.
Okay.
I'm not.
So nobody's
light
gonna
about
get
it.
pissed off when they see this and be like, "You're a liar."
No. You know what? I also am in the fitness scene because what I do for work. So I meet people at like fitness classes and events and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different than just like being at a club. There's usually
What's the best type of fitness class to meet somebody?
to meet people.
Yeah.
I treat a lot of really cool women who are fitness instructors, and their classes are mostly women and attractive women that take care of themselves and go to these classes.
You
So
can go to the class.
yeah, like I don't mind going to their classes because usually I'm one of the only guys, and it's
When
great.
this episode comes out, there's gonna be so many dudes in these fitness classes.
Yeah.
When you see this.
yeah.
So, as far as reality TV goes, right? Because you've had pretty much a sinister experience. Would you recommend people going on these dating shows, on these reality TV things? I mean, it's become so toxic because I remember the first version of reality TV and
Was it Real World?
well, Real World, yes, but more so the cult of personality started in Flavor Flav with Tiffany Pollard, New York.
Oh,
Like that's when reality TV took a weird turn. And I think that's the experience of reality TV
Yeah.
you had.
I had a good experience. It was definitely one of those things I'll remember for the rest of my life. What we're
Yeah.
talking about now was fun. I would say if you're truly
do it again?
single, do it, right? But what happens is these people try to cater to the role that they think that they're going to play or get famous. So they act differently than who they are. And I don't think the producers like that per se. Like when
Yeah.
I was on Temptation Island, there was a couple guys there living in my house who great dudes, but when the cameras were rolling, they would act a certain different way, or they would, the one guy like wasn't getting enough airtime and one of the girls was going to send him home. So he just started doing stupid shit, like getting naked and running down the pool and doing cannonballs, like doing things to get on TV.
That shows desperation.
And thought that he would have these viral clips of him, whatever. But the producers just cut him out of the show. They were like, we're just gonna put, he's a minor role anyway. Like they don't have time to just like air like random shit. So I would say if you do the show,
I beg to differ.
be true to you.
Naked hot
Because they're
guy
gonna twist it
cannonball.
anyway. They're gonna twist it anyway. They're gonna create all the twists that.
And I guess a lot of people, you had a career.
Yeah.
And these guys are trying to get on. They're trying to get deals. They're trying
Yeah.
to get clicks. But you're just like, you weren't really bothered by anything.
I was so scared of like slipping and saying something that could be
Yes.
Career ending.
Yeah. You had
like
something to lose.
right? But you don't
I
know
don't
what
care.
you're gonna get canceled for nowadays. It's like
No.
You can't cancel me though.
yeah.
You
George
can
knows.
grab a lot of pussy and keep
refuse to be
going.
canceled.
Like, that's it.
You try to cancel me.
Are they still trying to cancel you?
Good luck. Like they
can't.
come at me. I kind of just like pick up the bat, like boop.
I
Like,
knew
try
you.
He's
again,
a
bitch.
fighter.
I
He's
knew
a fighter.
George.
Yeah.
I knew George like right before all that. Like
Yeah.
well before all that.
So
right?
normal. Like-
and then all of a sudden I'm like, George is in the fucking news. All over the place.
But you knew
And-
him as a politician or
Yeah, we met through political friends.
Political, yeah.
Okay.
We met through political circles.
Okay.
Let's just put it that way.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
keep it non-political.
Yeah.
I also happen to know one of his ex-girlfriends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was kind of like, that's like, I love George. Like, what are they?
Were you
what are they doing?
surprised when you saw all the stuff?
Well, I was just like, what? Because I was like, yo, like I love George, but I was like, I believe most. Like I love this guy, right?
You know
So-
him for real. You know
Yeah,
it's-
yeah.
Like people who know me were just like amused at what like so look, and I'm not gonna make this about me, but the thing is like George Santos liar, like pants on fire, right?
Yeah.
So it's funny because before that people would my reputation was like George Santos is blunt. He will tell you whatever the fuck comes to his mind. He doesn't even care if it hurts your feelings.
Can I just tell you, like, obviously, patient confidentiality is out the window
course,
because
yeah.
we've already talked about you coming
yeah,
off this.
of course, yeah.
There was 3 separate occasions when things were really hot, and people, they come in, they talk about their day, they talk about current affairs, the news.
Oh, somebody brought up his name.
3 separate people on different days, and they were like, just casually come. Oh, and this fucking guy, George Santos, you fucking hear about this guy? And I'm like, no.
No.
Tell me about George. Say who?
No, there was. I'll say this funny story. There's this one time I'm sitting in your reception area, and there's another patient of yours there.
Yeah.
And she walks in with a bag from Italy, and she's holding the newspaper of the day. And I guess who's on the cover of the newspaper?
Oh my
yours
God,
truly.
dude. Yeah.
So she sits down. I'm wearing a hat, like most times.
Yeah,
like,
you came in incognito.
I
'cause
always do.
My
Like-
assistant says something. My assistant's like, does George not want to be here whenever people are here? I'm like, why do you say that? She's like, because he's in the
Hat,
corner with a hat
glasses.
and sunglasses and looking in the I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, like no, I keep it super like low
Yeah,
profile,
yeah.
right? So she opens her newspaper. Well, first of all, she looks at it, then she opens it, then she goes back, looks at me, looks at it. She just shuts the paper and goes super like dead
Did she say
serious.
anything to you?
Not a
Okay.
peep.
That's
Good.
so funny.
And I mean, look, I'm not trying to be.
Yeah.
She clearly looked like she was part of the LGBT community, like had that like super like lesbian girl look. And I'm like, oh boy, she's not happy. I'm like, I'm lucky if I make it out of the office.
We're
I'll make it out
so
of the office.
canceled.
But I when I came down that day from that last consult that I was there for that, I literally like was scared coming out because I had to walk a whole block to the parking garage. I'm like, this woman's gonna start a crowd out.
You don't
here.
want to
Like,
be
I just
attacked by a
feel it.
lesbian.
Do you still get
She was in-
confronted? Because you have a very
still get-
recognizable,
yeah.
like I would
Dude.
see you and I would know it was you.
Dude, I was dressed up in Halloween in the middle of 14th and 7th Avenue. I mean, go on my social media, you'll see like full on prosthetics and like devil face makeup, like really, really crazy bad makeup on. And I'm doing this project on camera and people actually come out and they're like, holy crap, you're George Santos. I'm like, there's no way you know it's me. They're like, oh
You
no,
have
I
a really
can.
distinct look, though.
Yeah, well, what's the distinct look? I think it's just bullshit.
George, I had people sending memes in my group chats of you in drag and not knowing that I knew you and being like, this fucking guy. And I was like, oh man, I was like, should I send him a photo back of me and George on a yacht?
You're like, hey, that's my cousin. Like, you could have done it.
Oh, no, the drag queen stories were just always very funny because
Dude,
he's the
those were-
career drag queen. Do you know how old I was in that picture?
Hopefully of age.
Teenager.
I was actually
20s?
between 17 to 18. That was in June.
Yeah.
That was in no, not June, sorry. That was March, and I became 18 in July that year. So I was 17 years old.
So crazy.
It was literally 19 years ago. It was Carnival in
The
Brazil.
internet is
I got a little carried
unforgiving.
away. One can argue I got a little carried away, but it was the only time that I
Yeah.
ever did it. And people were just like, he's a career drag queen. I'm like, poorest career drag queen in history.
I'm not gonna
One
lie.
hour.
thought you looked good,
I
though. It was
funny.
enjoyed.
I
I
thought
enjoyed
you
the
looked good.
memes.
I did too.
and
I still enjoy them.
I'm hoping there's more coming.
Oh no, like dude,
too.
the biggest troll I think was when I decided to start doing drag on Cameo for charity. And the funny thing was people paying me hundreds of dollars to roast myself or other people
Yeah.
in what, I mean, I don't even think it's drag.
'Cause why
'cause it's
wouldn't
offensive
you?
to drag. But the fun thing is it was for charity. And I got all these people to hate buy and give to charities they would never support.
clickbait, baby. Just
Like
use it.
it was Tunnels to Towers and the International Fellowship of
Gold medal.
Jews and Christians.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, all right, I'm
did it.
getting the last laugh. I'm getting
Yeah.
paid and
Listen,
donated.
if you're gonna be
I love that you don't take
crucified
yourself
for being a
seriously.
drag queen, you might as well do it
Right.
for charity.
Hey, I got the entire left wing of the United States to hate a drag queen.
Well, I was wondering, like, when did you know? And when did you know, like, it was going to be bad? Because I feel like it
I
just
didn't.
got so bad out of nowhere.
So it started off with an article, right?
Yep.
Like we all saw, like the interview.
Did someone just have like a hit out for you? Like,
No,
did you
this
bump somebody the wrong way at a
No,
party?
I rub everybody the wrong way.
Well, yeah.
Always, I always have because I'm not interested in making friends.
Yeah.
Over politics. I'm interested in getting shit done.
Well, I'm just curious, somebody who's known you for a while.
It was an
how it all
entire
started.
dossier. So it was an entire dossier that was just handed to the New York Times and they ran with it.
Somebody just had it out
Yeah,
for you?
because every single candidate does what's called a vulnerability study on
Yeah.
yourself. And I had done one, and every candidate has one. It's a thick dossier about yourself. All your weaknesses, shit you've said online, shit people close to you
So
said
you have
online.
to give them like the book on you?
Well, you pay somebody to do it, and then the party has it. The thing is, I had a disgruntled former employee who just like.
I was gonna say,
ran
how did
with
they
it.
get the
A
files?
former employee evaded NDA, gave it to the New York Times.
Are you
and the
able to
rest
sue
is
that
history.
person that did that?
I am, but how do you sue
You
a
don't wanna-
political hack employee who's broke? Like, what do you get out of that? You spend
Nothing.
legal fees.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, no, it's not worth it.
I'm like, I wouldn't say I'm spiritual. Everything happens for a reason, right?
Oh, I agree.
So just
if
let
that
it
didn't
ride.
happen, we wouldn't be here today,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'd probably be
So-
like a stuffy politician in Washington, D.C.
This is way more fun.
Oh, yeah. No, when I
Yeah.
look in hindsight, I'm like, I love the job, don't get me wrong, because I love working with people. I mean, I love communicating with people, but God, DC is so mundane.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
that was going to be a long-term fit.
It was
for you.
gonna be a
it
cage
wasn't.
for him.
I could tell you,
Yeah.
I would have probably run for re-election once just to like do it again, and I wouldn't even gone for a third term.
Yeah.
Do you think you're done with politics? Like, has
I'm
it
a
turned you
recovering
off to it so
politician.
much, or-
It turns me off to a massive extent. I mean, we live in New York City, dude.
Right.
You can't even be political. You'd
Right.
lose half your clients if you were
What
political.
if a politician called you and said, I really think you'd be a good fit for XYZ? Would you go back and work on
I mean,
the
the
team?
only person that I would ever serve as president of the United States, no matter who he or she is, right? Like, if a president of the United States called me and said, "Hey, let's, I
do
want
the
you,"
job.
oh, yeah, yes, sir, yes,
Yeah.
ma'am, and
I mean, the way I see it is like
Yeah.
you kind of have, you could do whatever you want now because all your shit's out, right? Like, what they going to find?
Oh, no,
He's
I-
free
that's what I'm
now.
saying.
Like, there's no
free.
dirt
You're
in your,
free.
Yeah, like, good
there's no
luck.
dirt in
Like,
your closet. Now
yeah.
you can almost do whatever you want.
Pretty much. If I wanted to run for office, I'd be like, you know what? You know exactly
Yeah.
who I am.
Yeah.
But you don't know crap about my opponent.
That would
Yeah.
actually be a great
What is
platform,
my
though.
opponent hiding? Like, I can, you know what's the thing is? Please point me to a politician that's lied in their life and actually admitted to lying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The ones that admitted to, right? You have so many,
course.
so they don't. But on the topic of politics, I'm just going to ask, right? How is it to, like, because, and not asking you to tell me your
Yeah.
political opinions or proclivities, but does politics even make the cut these days for relationships? Is it something that you need to live with? Does it come up in
That's a good
relationships? Does
question.
it get in the way?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you and I met through people dating and political stuff. So after that, I was kind of turned off to it for a while. So we're in New York City, right? I would say 90% of the girls I go on a date with are left-leaning liberal people. I am more of a moderate person, conservative person, but it's kind of funny because being from New Jersey, living in New York City, I feel like I'm actually kind of more middle.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm really conservative when I compare myself to the hardcore liberal people I'm friends with. Then I leave this little bubble and I'm like, oh shit, I'm pretty kind of progressive.
Yeah, that's me too. That's
So-
the same issue for
Living
me.
here is different, though.
Well,
We
yeah,
realize
it's the
there's
same
not
issue
one
for me.
lane.
Like, people, I think I'm conservative until I leave New York City and I'm in the middle of Texas and I'm like,
I'm not that.
I don't know
Right.
about that.
Right?
Like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's
New York
crazy.
isn't real, though. Like, this
Yeah.
place
Yeah.
is not real.
Yeah.
Like, it's just,
I mean, listen, I think that a good politician should be middle of the road, but I think that just as somebody who is a small business owner and not in politics, I can have conversations with people about different issues and side with them on different things and agree and disagree. And honestly, that's what it should be.
Yeah.
Respectful and have a conversation with somebody who just sees you as a human being and like, we're all in this together. Let's figure some
Period.
stuff out.
Largely, I've decided to stay away from talking politics.
Yeah.
It's a net negative, right? I'd rather come in here and we can sit down and start talking like freaking fashion. Like,
his stories, his posts, his life on this podcast alone. He
he's
said
just
the
hating.
word politics 6 times. So you got to stop.
you're just hating.
You have to stop. You
I
have
look
to
great
stop.
with a MAGA hat on the red carpet.
It was not your
I'm
color,
glad you
baby.
called them out on
What
that
up?
Yeah,
too.
that bright. I mean, it just wasn't your color. It doesn't match the undertones.
blah, blah, blah. whatever.
Anyway,
The red hat's a little crazy.
it was a lot.
I got paid to do it.
So you're a whore.
Oh, I told you.
That's
I
what
say
whores do.
I never say no to any job.
He's an honest whore, though.
I
like
am.
it.
Like,
I like it.
people are like, why are you wearing that hat? I'm like, I got paid to do it. It's an advertising campaign. It's a cryptocurrency.
It's a little more. You know,
Who cares?
Not for you, just for everybody.
Look, speaking of paying, right? Like you're making all this money because you're a hot shot business owner, chiropractor daddy,
I'm
Dr.
still
Daddy
over
Johnny.
Look at me.
You're wearing a really nice bling there. What's that?
This is a Breitling. This is the only jewelry I wear is my watch. It's just like, you know,
You don't
I work
wear
with my
any
hands
other
all day.
jewelry?
Breitling
No.
is a nice piece of equipment.
That's a really nice watch.
It is.
No ring. I work with my hands all day. I don't want a dangling chain in someone's face. And I don't know. Guys with jewelry, little
I
sus.
mean, I wear a little subtle, like little crucifix and Star of David.
Man accessories are
you know,
cool, but I
and
could get why you don't wear it
bracelet.
at work.
We got about 5 minutes, guys.
Okay.
So,
Well, look, okay, Baron. I'm gonna go.
sorry, this is gripping to me.
So let's pivot here because we're running out of time. We do this little thing here, two truths and a lie.
Okay.
And we're supposed to figure out what's the lie.
Okay. 2 truths and a lie. Yeah, let me think about this.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I'm trying to put them
Go
in,
outrageous.
trying to put them in a good order here.
Yeah.
2 truths and a lie. Okay. All right, I got this ready.
Go.
I originally wanted to do CSI, crime scene stuff.
Okay.
I played college lacrosse, and I'm from New Jersey.
Oh,
It's
clearly.
a very boring two truths and a lie. You got to have some more dish than that, bro.
Okay.
Give us some like raunchy
Give us
stuff or
something,
Give
like,
us some
give me-
deep cuts.
Yeah. All right,
Oh my God, you guys are trying to dig this man in a hole?
That's an outside
Give him time to
perspective.
prepare? Like,
Come on, Johnny.
Okay. I mean, I've got good truths. I'm just trying to think of a lie here.
can you think of lies real? Oh.
Okay, I got this.
All right, go.
All right.
You got your lie?
Never had a threesome. A girl I used to date is now a lesbian right after me. And I had my eyebrow pierced.
Yeah.
I think he's lying about. Well, you said I never had a threesome,
Yeah.
or you have had a threesome.
I said
he
never
said he
had it.
never.
He said
I'm
he
pretty
never-
sure this. Come on, this look at this. He's a stud. He's probably had more than a
Yeah,
threesome.
I guess I got you guys. Turned out better than I thought.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say he's a nice traditional guy, and he's never had a threesome. I'm so gullible.
Bro, do you have a take on this?
Right.
I just don't think he turned a girl lesbian.
Bro, what do you say? What's he lying about?
I'm trying to read him, trying to look for an
I
eyebrow.
know,
scar.
I guess I got you guys. All right.
Okay, so now he's hard to
eyebrow.
read though.
I'm going eyebrow because I had my eyebrow pierced.
I just feel like you had your eyebrow pierced. I just
Never had my eyebrow pierced.
really.
Yep.
You
I've never had a threesome.
Everybody owes me an apology
And-
now.
I dated a girl for a little while, and since me, she's never been with a guy. She's been in 3 different relationships with 3 different
you
girls.
openly admitted that.
I don't know if I take blame for it. Maybe just
So he lied about the eyebrow piercing.
yeah.
That was good. You're
Yeah.
good.
Thank you so much for coming.
thanks
This is
for having me.
great.
It
Thanks.
was a lot of fun.
That was interesting. Like he's great, right?
Yeah. He was a breath of fresh air.
Right. It was so different to be able to sit with somebody who's like a real person. And it's funny because like he's not super famous, right? He's gone through the reality TV circuit. I mean, pecs and biceps gets you there these days. But
He's TikTok famous. He's
Oh,
a
yeah,
good-looking
totally.
dude, very charismatic.
Yeah.
I'm stunned that he was single.
I know, right? It's like, why?
Because if it was a girl,
I know him. He's a good guy. He's a really fun
If
guy.
it was a woman, we'd be like, "Oh, she's single and 37." But guys,
No, I
it's
kinda
more
like-
acceptable.
Yeah, no, but like you're single and you're 37 and you're a good
I thought
looking
it was a breath
guy.
of fresh air. I would definitely
Johnny.
send some friends by his office to get their backs cracked. I would do that. I would
Girl.
do it.
Well, I
like
mean,
he's a good back cracker.
let me tell you something.
Damn, was that racist?
No. I think what we take away from this episode, though, is what a real person really is versus what people think they are on social media. He's TikTok famous. People think he's
TikTok,
probably
reality show.
Yeah.
He's a real dude.
But he's really down to earth and fun. Like
Yeah.
I think we could have done this for hours.
Would you have him back?
Totally, absolutely. Maybe further along the next season, we'll have Johnny back.
Can't say that about all of our guests, but Johnny, I'm in agreement. Johnny could come back.
This was
I would
another
like that.
episode of Pants on Fire. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you again next week.
Liar, liar, pants on fire.